take a long walk around.
Older, yeah, yeah.
It's all right. Just let it get fluffy like mine. Let it get fluffy like mine.
Love that thing. The one sits on the back seat. She's like, oh,
All right.
it's cute.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thornapple Kellogg Schools regular school board meeting. We're in the Early Childhood Center. It is 7 p.m. Monday, May 13th, 2024. And Brenda, would you do a roll call? Or sorry, yeah, a roll call of the board, please.
Brock?
Here.
Dickman?
Here.
Hess? Here? Powers?
Here.
Usen?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
And Winger?
Here.
Yep, quorum.
All right, thank you. And that takes us to a Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is in the back corner. Please begin on my start. 3, 2, 1. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. And now looking for the adoption of the agenda, or if you have an adjustment, now is the time to request that.
I can make a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Husen and support by Brock. Is there any discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, is that a vote? I'm sorry. We'll take a vote? Yep. All right, we'll just take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, board. Motion carries. All right, and that takes us to public communication and recognition. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes, it's always a little bittersweet as we recognize retirees at the end of the year. We're excited for them, yet sad to see them go. This year we recognize Mary Francisco from the middle school, Krista Hannapel, who was not here tonight, from Lee Elementary, Ray Rickert from the high school, Randy Stalick from the middle school, and Marilyn Whitney from McFall. Those are our teaching staff retiring. And then Craig Van Eck, our support staff custodian from the high school. So it is sort of bittersweet to see you on your way out, and I'm also jealous, if you can. But anyhow, I do have something here, a token of appreciation from the board, and I'd like to hand that out to each of you. And I don't know if board members want to shake hands of the retirees. Yeah, you go that way, I'll go this way, and we'll hand these out at the end. We call this the gauntlet, but if you want to.
Thank you.
Plenty of venison, my friend. You've never been on the board, Ross? You were on the board.
I'm not that old.
No.
All right, and again, thank you for your years of service and dedication to the schools. All right, let's see. Public input. I did not receive any cards. Would anybody like to speak at public input? Would anybody like to speak at public input? All right, public input is closed. Moving on to consent grouping. Give me a moment here. Apologize. Okay. Any consent grouping item can be removed for the separate consideration by board member request. All consent grouping items will be adopted in one motion with a roll call vote. So with that, looking for if somebody wants to discuss one item in particular, or looking for a motion to adopt everything at once.
I'll move that we adopt everything at once.
Okay.
Support.
So we got Hess with a motion and Dickman with support. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing there's no discussion, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Wenger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Husin,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman
Yes.
and Brock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board. There you go. Way to go, buddy. All right. Okay, we are just moving along here. Okay, board items for information. McFall Elementary Building Update.
Mr. Washburn, that brings us to you and your crew. So,
Chop, chop.
Hey, I'm here all night.
this is being recorded.
Hey, can we move to slide 2, please, Erica? Okay, so I brought Megan Collins, Jamie Hooksma, and Marnie Lambert's our Title I coordinator. We want to go over some instructional highlights. They're doing a fabulous job with some co-teaching. A couple things that I want to mention is it's aligned to our strategic plan by providing individualized instruction for all students, and they've done a great job with this. Another thing, they really have done a wonderful job using data to continuously evaluate and expand our learning. So just doing a fantastic job. Another thing, as you know, our district is really starting off with our PLC initiative, and we've really tried to set our schedule that co-teachers or groups of teachers have common planning time. And it's their own time, but these two specifically have gone above and beyond to look at data almost daily, and then, changing their instruction based on that. Can't say enough about them. They're wonderful. They're going to make me look good today, so per usual. I just, support them and get out of their way and let them do their job. So with that, Megan?
All right, so we just wanted to kind of share with you today what we're doing in our reading time in first grade that we have found to be super successful, and we just really love it. So just to give you a little bit of context, so during our reading groups in the morning, so all of the first grade students meet in small groups at their reading level. Some meet with their classroom teachers, some are pulled by parapros or other educators. So we started co-teaching during that time, and we found just a ton of benefits that we're going to go through today. So during morning groups, when many of our students are pulled out, we meet together in one classroom, and then in the afternoon, where it's our in-class small group reading time, our students travel between our classes, so we get to see everyone we need to see.
Yeah, we end up seeing all of our kids that day. Thank you. So we'll see, I have 22 kids. All 22 kids are met by either me or Miss Collins. So we started co-teaching. Sorry. No, I don't. Just because there were so many different varying levels, and we wanted to make sure we're reaching all kids. So when we first, you want us to move?
No, sorry. You're welcome to stand at the podium and use that mic if you want options.
Okay, thanks. I like Megan being my podium. So with that, though, having as many kids as there are in a class and just one teacher, your groups are going to be, we're going to have either too large of groups, too small groups, or their instruction is not going to be, we're going to have to alter it a little bit to meet not at their level.
So that the picture up on the board was just an example of one of our groups from a couple years ago when we were still just teaching independently during this time. And you can see, I mean, that it is a difficult task to meet with all of those groups, and you can see the groups are not, the kids are not grouped at their level, like there's, the different colors represent their level. So they are with students that are not working on the same skill that they are working on.
Or it was we weren't meeting with them every day. So like one group we would only meet with twice a week, and another group might get 5 days because it was more intensive. So it just really wasn't good for all kids. So This is another example of different ways we tried to group them prior to co-teaching. And again, it's showing we'd have groups with just one kid in it, but a group with 8. And so trying to manipulate that and move the kids around, it just did not work.
All right, so then the biggest benefits that we have found, so when you're grouping 44 to 50 students together instead of just 22, it is so much easier to find commonalities. So we're actually able to group the kids at their level between the classes with the things that they're working on. And then the group sizes are appropriate. We don't have groups of 1 or 2 usually, unless we have some outliers. We don't have groups of 8. We're able to see 6 or less kids normally. We have really liked it as well because our classes know each other. And in a district that with our configuration, like it's so cool that we have 2 classes that really feel like one classroom. They have friends in the other classes, and traveling forward next year, like they will have those friendships when they're all mixed up again. And then we just love that, I mean, we have these kids have 2 teachers basically, and we just love that. You know, they have the opportunity to work with both of us, get to know both of us, have both of our eyes on them, deciding what they need, what we can do to support them, and that's just been incredible.
Some of the benefits for us is like we plan daily. It's like on the spot learning. Like we get 2 heads are better than 1. When we are meeting and talking about students, we can really, there's 2 people that have worked with those kids who can analyze that data together and come up with more solutions. Kids are seeing us working together, and our morale is up just because it's just nice working with a coworker. So.
Yeah, I think so often as teachers, we're just kind of on an island, so it's so nice to have somebody to bounce things off of, to collaborate with. It's been wonderful.
It's been nice too, just building more relationships with more students than just your own class. I mean, I love having mine, but it's like nice going down the hallway and her class is all, hey, Mrs. Hooksma, and just excited to see me also. So that's really nice too.
I'll be my own podium, thanks. So the quote above is actually from the PLC training that we had, the all-day PLC training. And we've been working with this co-teaching thing for a couple of years, and sitting there listening to the PLC initiative, it was like, this is exactly what we're trying to do. So that feels really great and validating that we are on the right track with this. And one thing, we're adding a section to McFall, as you know, next year. So that's a lot of classes. But the benefit is each grade level has even numbers. So everyone has like a perfect co-teacher. So John and I have been looking at the schedule, and we've worked it out that 5 days a week, co-teachers will have a common plan time 5 days a week. So they can do what works for them, meet. If something arises, they don't have to try to find a time to meet, whether it be lunch, recess, but they have a special 5 days a week where they can meet with their co-teacher, which we think is extremely beneficial for reviewing the data, as well as just planning and making sure everything's covered that they need to do, because oftentimes you do have to pivot if something arises that maybe you didn't think of before. So we call it TK time in the morning, when they talked about how the intervention students leave and then they are left with the remaining students and they can co-teach in one classroom. The nice thing about that is those co-teaching students come to intervention at the same time as well. So that is an extension of the small groups that they're getting, and they're already comfortable, because that's one of the big things, is getting the kids comfortable in their intervention groups, making sure that they're comfortable taking risks and making mistakes, but they already know each other so well. And even when we shift groups, they're all buddies, and we are meeting them exactly where they need to be, just at a more intensive level than they're even getting in the classroom. And then now we have a third person who then can collaborate with them on those students and meet those needs. And we can talk about what might work better in intervention, what might work better in the classroom. And like I said, 2 heads better than 1, 3 heads better than 2. So.
Okay, so how we plan, we take all of our data and we assess them weekly. So then we look at it and we say, okay, if they've passed that skill, they get a green. If they're doing even above it, they're at a blue. Red is they're intensive, and yellow is they're just below. So then this just kind of lets us see what kids we're going to pair together. So it lets us know also what we need to reteach.
And our initial groupings are our initial groupings are based on Acadian, so our big assessment that we do at McFall. So that's where our initial groupings come from, and these are our more informal assessments that we're doing every week at the end of the week with the kids that are aligned with our curriculum. So we're seeing where they're at with the skills that we've taught this week, and we're already reading with them every week. So now we can use that to every week be switching groups. If we feel like a student doesn't fit, if we notice that there's something they need to work on the following week, then we have that in front of us, and we can. Yeah.
And then because of this, we were able to, this is our groups now. We were able to, the gray one is our TK, the gray one is like our afternoon groups that they leave TK time. And then the yellow one is our morning groups. So now all of our kids are being met for 20 minutes every day, no matter what. So it's just, and then the morning groups, they're getting met twice because they're going to intervention and then seeing us in the afternoon too. And our group sizes are small, and they're all at what they need. How we do it.
All right. So we just want to share some of the things. So in our small group, what we're actually doing when we are teaching them. So we're using Orton Gillingham, UFLI, and our letters from, or our knowledge from letters to support our curriculum. So these are some of the activities that we are doing that are aligned with those. So you can see our blending boards. So we're making real and nonsense words with the phonics patterns that we've learned. We have decodable readers and advanced readers that we're reading with the kids every week. We're working on fluency. We're working on comprehension. Like you can see, I love those too. They're tapping the sounds and words. We're segmenting the sounds, blending them together. Yeah, they do such a good job.
And then other items we're using sand trays, magnetic letters to build words. We're going through, and we have boogie boards up there, so that way it's all hands-on, engaging, and the kids are excited to do it.
Yeah, just again, they are the model that we want to get to. So I'm going to have them do a PD next year at the beginning of. Did I mention that yet? No. Okay. Hey, congratulations for our staff at the beginning of the school year. Just because I think that we're going to get more and more staff that are going to want to do this as well. So just a couple really quick thank yous and highlights. Wonders Curriculum. I want to thank the board for approving that purchase last year. I know it's a huge undertaking, but we're super excited about it. Kim, along with our teacher leaders and our kindergarten teacher leaders, I think we have a really good plan. And we have, an amazing staff. School is done May 31st, that Friday, and we're already bringing them in that Monday morning, June 3rd. Their first day of summer vacation, they're back at McFall at 8 o'clock to start training. So no complaints, no nothing. They're going to be here hitting the ground running, so really, really appreciate that. This one just might seem kind of whatever, but new carpet throughout the building. It's amazing. When you walked into McFall before, I don't know if it was like 1975 that the carpet would just kind of get that musty kind of smell and stains and yeah. So we were able to get new carpet, and when staff came in, last August, it was like kids on Christmas morning. It was just amazing, and all the parents, and everybody loved it. So really appreciate the new carpet. We're hoping for a new student furniture for first grade next year. Just plugging for that, Mr. LaHaye. Everybody out there see me on that one, okay? Front sign, that was just installed. It's not functional yet, but again, 2024, we've got digital signs now, so I don't have to send poor Jeremy out. Okay, we've got 2 hours of sunlight. Go out there and change the sign, please. It's going to start raining soon, or snow. So we can do that at our fingertips. Change it easily and often, so that's wonderful. Another huge one, new construction, the roads for the student drop-off and pick-up. So if you've ever been to an elementary school, we have over 500 kids at McFall. Probably half of them get picked up. It's not fun at the end of the day or drop-off, but it is what it is. That's what elementary schools are. So at the north entrance off of Main Street where our first grade students get picked up, we're going to widen the road. And then when you leave, we're going to add a left turn lane. So I think that's going to help get all that congestion out. And then our main parking lot, the south entrance, that's where all of our young fives and kindergarten students get picked up. And we probably have, gosh, I don't know, 150 kids that get picked up every day, and they're, 5-year-olds, so it's hard to get them into the car, into the seat, back up lines. So we put in like a temporary road so we could kind of snake cars around, and it was gravel. It worked great. Brandon Leitz, our head of our operations and grounds, did an amazing job keeping that updated all winter. And thank goodness we had a kind of a mild winter. But we're going to pave that this summer. And then the village put in an exit only to 3rd Street. And we got it in a little bit late, so they're going to come back now and repave that. I think sometime this.
It's going to be about the same time as everything else.
Okay.
That way there's no seams.
Okay.
So it'll be this summer.
This summer. So, and hopefully, I mean, this is a huge endeavor. So I'm just praying that everything's done by August 26th, because I think it was last year. It was funny. I was just at a staff meeting. Sorry, I put a microphone in front of me and I keep talking. But we had a staff meeting, and there was stuff going on. I'm like, yeah, watch, Craig's going to come and say that, they're going to start construction on the road. Literally the next day, Craig comes over. Hey, John, we're going to start this new construction. It was just how it worked with the village and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So we made it work. You have to do what you got to do. So hopefully it'll be done by August 26th. And the last thing I wanted to highlight, I think this is my 16th year at McFall, and one of you mentioned, I think maybe Marnie mentioned, we're adding a 10th section of 1st grade. So we have 4 young 5s, 10 kindergarten, 10 1st grade. We put that new addition on 3 years ago. So we added 6 classrooms at the end of the building, the south end, and then we added a music and an art classroom. We're okay, but we're getting pretty full. So every classroom will be filled with students, and then also itinerant staff and our reading rooms and things like that. But we're going to be a lot of littles in our classroom or our school next year. I'm thinking, I don't know, 520, 530 maybe might be our projection right now. So a lot of growth. Okay. Anything else? We're good. So thank you for letting us be here tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry. It's for the ladies, I'm so sorry. Mrs. Collins and Mrs. Hooksma, curious, the co-teaching, was it your idea? Did you guys were like, this is what we want to try, and then you brought it to Mr. Washburn, and you said, yeah, go for it?
There was like a year, it was probably over 6 years ago, that I ended up having a group of students where it was just, I had some really, really low outliers, that it would have been like one student in this group, one student in that group. So I think I went to Marnie. Do you want me to hold that? Okay.
It was 2019. It was going so good, and then 2020. So 2019, but she had like one kid in this group and one kid in this group, and that just isn't feasible then to meet everybody. So
No.
we
So
kinda
I went to Marnie, and Marnie was looking around at schedules, and there was a couple teachers, and Megan just accepted it and was like, yes, I'd love to do that. So we have been doing it since then, and just kind of playing around with it, and each year it gets better. This year has been probably my favorite because of our letters training and Orton Gillingham training, and also utilizing UFLI this year. It's been amazing. And then also the PTO granted us all of those manipulatives for it, and so that was a huge addition to it this year. So it's just getting better and better.
So I have a question off that, and then I have a comment. So first I'm going to say my comment that I think this speaks to the culture in your building, that you have frontline staff that can raise a concern and say, I want to try this, and you two as leaders there, John, go for it. Yeah, I think it just really speaks to the culture, and it's palpable when you walk through that door. You have a really positive culture, so kudos to all of you. And then I have a question is, have you seen any behavioral changes with the co-parenting? Ooh, it's pretty close, right? 5-year-olds. Co-teaching.
Yeah, it's just because they see us every day, I would say that, yeah, it's not like I'm getting one of her kids once a week, so now they look at me as like I am their teacher also, so I think they respect me in that matter, and same with my class respects her, and they're not trying, like when a sub comes in, I think, the kids like to stretch it a little bit, and
I think they enjoy it more just being together, and then in the afternoon being able to leave the classroom and go somewhere else. It just makes, I think, group time more fun, more exciting, as opposed to just kind of, I don't know, the same old thing, staying in the classroom, just seeing me again.
It's a cool idea. It's just really cool. to me.
Outside of the classroom, I know it's so nice just knowing each other's students so well. If there are behavior issues in the hallway, on the playground, if she has a sub, these are kids that we know and we have a relationship with, to the point that we can support them and really help them behaviorally. And so I think there's a huge benefit there.
I'll add to it.
Thank
I know
you.
Some of their colleagues have already asked if they could be paired up next year because they want to start modeling this.
It's awesome. I'm done asking questions.
I just want to say I just love it. I can picture everything happening, and I really love how you're given the formative assessments and then the in the moment, and I just love everything about it. Thank you. Thank you for putting in the time.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again. All right, McFall staff. Okay, so that takes us to public hearing proposed changes to the reproductive health curriculum, and Ms. Chow Sao is taking the long route. She's not slipping out the door.
I tried, but.
It was a fun meeting. I enjoyed it.
Okay, he said this moves. So Matt and Christy are both on the reproductive health committee for TK. Christy, you weren't able to be
Was out of
there,
town, yeah.
but Matt was. We did our 2-year review a year ago, so we reviewed all of the curriculum, and at that time, we made some changes to what we were teaching at 5th grade. The publisher of that made some copyright changes, so we pulled our committee back together. So tonight, we're opening up a public hearing because we're required by law to have 2 public hearings, and TK's process has been to do that during a board meeting because people tune into board meetings. So we want to make sure they know what we're doing. So everything that I'm sharing tonight is based on the April 18th, 2024 Thornapple Kellogg Reproductive Health Advisory Committee meeting. We met from 6:30 to, I believe it was 6:59. I said we were going to be done at 7, and we were, so that was good. I just basically stated the public hearing piece is for me to bring forward to you what was discussed and what our vote was, so that you can hear it. We will open up for public comment at the end of this public hearing in case somebody does want to weigh in on that, and then I will be back again next month. So if there's anything that bubbles up from the board, please ask. I'm going to struggle with my pieces of paper and all these things here, but I can do it. The committee is going to be shared with you. The agenda is just to remind you of what our vision is, to tell you the proposed updates. These are not changes. It's not that we changed anything in our sequence and what we're doing. We just had a few updates to the lessons that we wanted to make sure the committee looked at. Tell you the next steps, and if there are any questions, and then that public comment. Here's our committee. We balanced our committee last year. Feel very good about the committee that's reviewing the reproductive health curriculum and meeting every 2 years unless a change or an update comes about. We have the parents, we have clergy, we have physicians, school board members, parents, and staff. We have to have more than 50% of it being parents from the community and or the clergy and pastoral, the clergy, et cetera, and we do have that. So we had a good meeting. Our vision is to make sure, based on state law, that we protect the health and safety of students in regards to reproductive health. We are not doing anything above and beyond that. We're just making sure that we're teaching them how to stay safe. We are abstinence-based, and parents have the right to opt out of anything, and that's a 2-week ahead notice and the right to review any curriculum and instruction. The changes for the 5th grade curriculum, which is through the W2W, was called Willing to Wait for many years. We made a joke a year ago, not in a light way, but honestly for the last 10 years, because I worked on a whole curriculum with our reproductive health committee to write a reproductive health curriculum for our special needs students, and that actually is being used in New York and other places. Other schools reached out to us, but the joke was that there's not many people out there writing curriculum. for this. It's very hard to find updated resources and materials. So last year when we made the changes in 4th and 5th grade to adopt this Healthy Me, Healthy Relationships curriculum, it was because Willing to Wait was utilizing that and had their trained trainers to come to work in classrooms with teachers. Unbeknownst to them and us and our committee, there were some changes that were going to be coming to those lessons. And that came because more schools were making changes in their 4th and 5th grade instruction and moving to 5th grade, and technology was getting into the hands of students at a younger age before it had been considered. And so what they did is they moved from 4 lessons that you see here: self-esteem, the HIV and AIDS, puberty, which we split boys and girls. Boys learn about their systems, and girls learn about their systems, and they learn with a male teacher or a female teacher. And we made sure even with our classroom teachers that the instructor from W2W that was there, we also made sure we had a male teacher or a female teacher from TK with them as well, so that there was nothing was uncomfortable. And then it was internet safety. But through the last 9 months and utilizing it more in classrooms, the organization Healthy Mind, Healthy Body, Healthy Me, they changed it to that, and they broke it into 5 lessons. And the real key component here, and it was all gone over with our reproductive health committee, is to start with valuing yourself. And the students actually do the STAR, and they talk about their good qualities and why do I matter, how do I take care of myself, what do I do to protect myself, and then the next lesson goes into how do your peers and other things around you influence you. And that connects into the social media, what people say about you, but it's building that strong foundation before you then start learning about your body and how it's going to be changing and what's going to happen between 5th grade and 7th grade when we do W2W. And then there's the lesson that's still there about the HIV and AIDS and the transmission of disease. And then the 5th lesson that they broke off to do at the end is really talking about, so this was really the change right here, is your digital footprint and what are you putting out there and how it stays. So what is your self-worth? And what are you input out there, so that they do talk about sexting, like don't get into details, but you don't take a picture of your body parts that you wouldn't show others and put that out there. And that piece of what are you taking in? And what do you do if you get in an uncomfortable situation with that internet safety? Who do you talk to? A trusted adult. But it all goes back to lesson 1. And who are you? What do you value yourself? What are your family values? And how do you make sure you fit all that in there? So it's setting that really strong foundation and stage. So we went over that in more detail with our Reproductive Health Advisory Committee, and it was unanimous. Everyone there, parents, school board, clergy, physicians, students, that this was the right direction and that they felt comfortable and supported, and we were bringing it to the school board tonight to let you know that that's what our vote was, and we'd like you to consider adopting that at the next public hearing. So if you have questions, Matt was there. Yes.
I had 3 points. So you talk about the 4 to 5 lessons. The other one was the drawings are medically accurate, as opposed to, I think before, they were more cartoonish.
Prior to us being to W2W, they were definitely more just like fictitiously drawn. And the W2W is a little better, but what they're trying to do is this is science. If you have a respiratory system, pituitary system, so they're making them correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
And the other one was, you mentioned sexting, but they changed that term to inappropriate content because it's broader and it covers more.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people, if they hear one term, there's only one definition. So if you make it a broader term, it encompasses more. So those were the couple of highlights I just wanted to add on. Thank you, Kim.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Any other questions?
I was wondering, are other STDs covered in addition to HIV and AIDS or not?
Not in 5th grade.
Okay.
So when we do 7th grade, this is a Michigan law that you teach about those and the safety, the transmission of AIDS and HIV. When we get up into the upper grades in there, then it does talk about different things. But ultimately, we're just teaching them about their own body, per se, in 5th grade. Is that making sense to articulate? Okay. If you want to have anything else to add to that, but yeah. Anything else?
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Well, the only thing we have to ask is if there is anyone who wanted public comment, and they have to state their,
Sure.
I have another slide, I apologize.
Okay.
Struggling with all my things here. You would need to state your name, you would have 3 minutes, and it must absolutely pertain to the updates
Sure.
for 5th grade. So if there was anyone here that would like to say anything. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
Kim.
tonight was purely informational, so next meeting will be brought forth again. And anybody can reach out to Ms. Chowzow at the administration office and talk with her or review the materials. Thank you. Okay. That takes us to committee and liaison reporting.
Right, there was only one committee that met, and that was the Personnel Subcommittee, and we are going to be going into closed session if someone were to propose that, to
Right.
discuss an issue.
All right, so that's coming up next, closed session. So for the purpose of conducting periodic personnel evaluation, Open Meetings Act, Section 8A, and for the purpose of negotiation sessions connected with collective bargaining agreement, looking for a motion to go into closed session.
A motion that we go into closed session.
Second.
All right, motion by Smith and support by Winger. Is there any discussion? Seeing as no discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, board. Motion carries.
Okay, for everyone here and the audience, we are going to actually step out of the room, so you don't have to this time, all right? So, board, if we can go out this side door here?
Board, if you'd turn your mics to red. Back in open session. Thank you very much for staying. We appreciate it. And that takes us to board items for action and new hires. Mr. McCarthy? Do you need a moment?
I'm just trying to get.
Yeah, he's getting caught up here.
Okay, we have 3 positions here that we are looking to fill. The first one, our high school band teacher, Claire Jansma, has been brought forward for that particular position. And then we have the secondary curriculum director, Heather Robotham. And then the third item is Greg Bruno, moving him from Page to be the high school assistant principal as an internal transfer.
Okay, the board has any questions for Mr. McCarthy or Mr. LaHaye? Otherwise, looking for a motion to go forward.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education approve the hire of Claire Jansma and Heather Robotham, and the internal transfer of Greg Bruno for the 2020-2025 school year.
Support.
Okay, I got a motion by Winger, support by Smith.
Sorry, Heather.
Is there any discussion by the board? All right, I am excited for this one. So, let's see. Since there's no, it's just a, yeah, fifth. Okay. We have a motion by Winger, support by Smith for new hires. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, board. Motion carries. And
Congratulations.
welcome. Congratulations. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Welcome aboard.
On paper, it's only 7 hours a day, and reality it's 12.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations. All right, thank you, board. Let's see. High school curriculum approval, principles of technology classes. Mr. Welker presented last month. And Mr. Welker, I told some friends about it. They were very excited. The title I keep forgetting because I keep thinking more of like a CAD or a computer like that. But I said, nope, to me, it's all life skills. So I loved it. Is there anything, Mrs. Chasso, that you want to? Yeah, no, I loved it. I do usually ask, did anybody come and look at the curriculum? No, okay, thank you. Board, do you have any questions for either person? Okay, looking for a motion to go forward with the Principles of Technology course.
I'll make the motion that the Board of Education approve the Principles of Technology curriculum, Paxson, Patterson, College and Career Ready Labs, and Construction Career Labs at a cost of $43,660.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Dickman and support by Brock. All right, is there any discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Powers?
Yes.
Huson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Wenger?
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board.
Congratulations.
All right, congratulations. Thank you for staying. All right, next up is KIASB. I believe it's Kent Intermediate Association of School Boards.
That's correct.
Thanks, Ken. All right. Oh, there, it's written out. Okay. So we have a job, and it will be a relatively easy job. There's 3 open positions and 3 nominations. But we need to go through the official part. So, is there, yeah. Oh, I'll make the motion just because, let's see, I'm going to have to click between screens here. Make a motion, the Board of Education nominate Nick Reichenbach of Rockford, Region 1, Ken Horniker, Godwin Heights, Region 3. Oh, I apologize. I'm reading the wrong thing.
Wrong names.
There you go.
Okay, start over. I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Education nominate Christy Ramsey, Rockford, Region 1, Teresa Ramirez, Northview, Region 1, Ken Horniker, Godwin Heights, Region 3.
I'll support.
Sorry, for the
Oh,
Kent Intermediate
sorry.
Association of School Board of Directors.
I will support.
Thank you. Okay. Motion by Powers and support by Huzen. And I apologize for fumbling that up. Is there any discussion by the board?
I'd just say that I think it's the first time in over 25, maybe 30 years that we haven't had a TK person on that board, so.
Oh, really?
Just so you're aware.
I think you just got nominated.
I was on the board
Oh,
for a
okay.
long time.
You were, I was gonna say, you've been on the board about 25, 30 years. Okay, is there any discussion, any other discussion? All right, we're gonna take a vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, board. Motion carries. Okay, now, item D, Kent ISD 2024-2025 budget approval. And I will tell you, the Kent ISD is phenomenal. It has a very expansive and diverse population it serves, different districts. The KCTC, my girls are, well, one's graduating, one's going to graduate in a little bit. So they've had a lot of friends go through the KCTC program. It sets them up if they want to go to another four-year degree and go further, or if they want to go right to the workforce. It's a wonderful program. Their special ed department is phenomenal, one of the top in the state. Kent ISD has so many resources for us, and I think we're lucky to be part of their system. So I think it's wonderful. Ms. McCarthy, I don't know if you have anything to add?
Just that I would echo that. There's a lot of opportunity because we do belong to the Kent ISD.
So looking for either any questions or discussion? Otherwise, looking for a motion to approve the resolution for support of their budget.
Are you doing a presentation?
Nope. I'm just putting this up there for information. I think Matt did a great job of covering it. Thank you.
I did not have any of those specifics, though.
Well, that's just for, I mean, you all had that packet for a couple weeks
Yeah.
now. You could look through it. Everything's in great order. And, yeah, we do receive a lot from the ISD.
Right.
So, yep. Don't need to belabor it anymore.
Okay. Well, I will make the motion. I'll make the motion that the Board of Education approve the resolution to support the proposed 2024-2025 Kent Intermediate School District budget.
I'll support.
Okay, I got a motion by Powers, support by Hess. Is there any discussion by the board? See, there's no discussion. We'll take a roll call vote, please.
Brock,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers,
Yes.
Huson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Winger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, board. Okay, that takes us to Learning Center asbestos abatement. Mr. McCarthy, we're on the home stretch with this project, aren't we? Or no?
Actually, I'm just going to turn it over to
Yep, I did put up a little bit of information about the asbestos. So we had previously thought that the last of the asbestos in the district was in the pool roof. Come to find out, before we were demoing the old learning center, we found it in some pipe insulation and some old floor tile in 4 of the classrooms. So this is a relatively small project, but before we demo that building at the end of this month, we have to get the asbestos out of there. So we hurried up around spring break. We put an RFP out with our help from Northern Analytics, who has been our advisor for asbestos. We received 3 bids here. According to him, all reputable companies. The first one is Trust Thermal Abatement. So with your approval, $34,300 out of the bond fund. We'll get that done actually this week. They're waiting on this approval, and then we can hurry up and get the building demoed actually by the end of the month. So John didn't mention that, but it's going to look a lot nicer out of his east side windows of McFall very soon. So that's really all I had here. We were happy to get 3 bids on such a small project.
Okay. If anybody has any questions, otherwise looking for a motion to move forward.
I'll make the motion that the Board of Education approve the final asbestos abatement in the old learning center as presented for an amount not to exceed $34,300.
Support.
A motion by Brock, support by Dickman. Is there any further discussion?
Now, if you guys come to us and say the admin building needs to be completely redone because it's full of asbestos,
No.
we're going to call you out on that.
There's going to put duct tape on it and color
Right.
it.
this had all been encapsulated before, so that's
Okay, with that, it'll be a roll call vote, please.
Wenger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Huson,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Hess, yes. Dickman,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Board. Okay, stadium track resurfacing.
All right, stadium track resurfacing. This began with, we had a company come out. This is Archie Golis, AG Sports. They were the ones that originally did the track. Well, I'm not sure that they originally did the track, but they've resurfaced the track in 2004 and again in 2015, give or take a year. And our track's starting to crack, right? And so they came out and gave us an opinion that we could get another 7 or 8 years out of the existing track with them coming in, pulling off the surface, filling the cracks, and then installing a new 2-coat refurbishment of that same surface, and that would get us to about 2030 or 2032, in that range. So Brian Hammer brought this to me. Brandon Leitz worked on it that John mentioned earlier. To me, it sounds like a great way to get us into really the next bond, when we'll have to look at the stadium turf as well, and maybe even some other things in the stadium. So get all that aligned, get ourselves another, get out of the 20s with this track, $50,000, $54,000 out of the capital projects fund. This would not be out of the bond fund. Seems like money well spent at this point, because otherwise it's going to continue to crumble, and we don't have it in the current bond. So this is actually, we did not go through an RFP process with this. This is, and I didn't put this on here, but I believe it's in the write-up you have. This is pre-bid, all of the materials pre-bid through a consortium, and the consortium number's on there. So it meets the board policy for purchasing. So this will be done, I believe, right around the 4th of July or shortly thereafter, and will be ready for the fall sports season. So pretty good deal. It'll be all restriped and looking great. So be happy to entertain any questions. Yeah.
So it says it does not include any asphalt remediation. Is there any speculation that we would run into any issues there?
The asphalt is still, from what he said, in good enough shape that with the patching, you get a few of those little pock marks, so they'll go through and they'll patch it, and then they'll fill out any cracks, and that'll, according to Archie, because we said, we just want to make sure if we're putting this money into us, it'll get us through this decade. And he says he feels confident. And he's widely renowned as the guy for tracks, statewide and really into the Midwest. So I feel comfortable with it.
Okay.
Yep, I feel very comfortable with it. Because other than Derek running on that track with his cleats back in the early 2000s, I think the track has been pretty well taken care of.
Thanks, Chris. Just out me for that.
Sorry.
Hey,
You didn't hurt
actually,
the asphalt.
Mr. Welker was actually right there with me, I'll tell you that.
The two-coat refurbishment will take care of that.
All right.
All right, any other questions for Mr. LaHaye? Okay, looking for a motion to go forward with the track resurfacing?
I can make a motion. I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the refurbishment of the high school track as presented for an amount not to exceed $54,080.
Second.
Okay, motion by Huzen, support by Winger. I would just like to mention the girls varsity track won the league championship last week, so it did not slow them down. And the boys, I think, took second, so it was a great program we were building up there.
Yep.
And ideally, they'll keep it going. Just a random fact, but I thought you'd like to know. So, any other discussion? Okay. So that's a roll call vote, please.
Brock,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Hess, yes. Powers,
Yes.
Huson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Wenger,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you, Board. Okay, and down to even more fun here. FFA barn purchase, Future Farmers of America.
All right, let's build a barn, Lane, huh? So Lane, this is a two-part board meeting for Lane. He's had an integral part of this. So Alyssa Hamlin, who has been present at several meetings this year, this is really her work. So she secured a grant through Section 61S with Eaton Risa earlier this year, and we were awarded almost $50,000, you see there on the screen, for the sole purpose of purchasing or building a barn for our FFA program. So with Lane's help, Alyssa was able to find a vendor, Elite Metal Buildings, that really gave us this design of this pole building. It's a metal building with a lean-to. And I said, hold on, that exceeds the bid threshold. I need to put that out to bid. So hurried up, wrapped it into an RFP, so we made sure we were checking the boxes that we need to. We did receive another bid from a local company out of Byron Center, and you can see their price was a little bit higher. But overall, Lane's had a lot of discussions with Elite Metal. I've been involved in some of them, so we are proposing to move forward with this building. I'll be honest, there are a lot of unknowns, okay? So this is to purchase the building. We then have to construct the building. We have to, get a foundation and figure out a lot of things, but this is the first step in many of really growing this FFA program. It's very exciting, and we'll see what the future holds, but this is that first step, and we need to spend these grant funds by, I believe it's July of 2025, maybe September of 2025, but it's strange how the price almost identically matches what we received, and the district will carry the extra $1,000 or so there. So I'd entertain any questions you have, but this is a jump towards our program here, one of our younger programs.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I think it's a natural progression. We started the program several years ago, and this is just what our students need to do. I know my daughter came home, and she absolutely loved, she got to sneak out and go see the animals. So, I mean, kids of all ages love to see animals, so that's just a natural progression, and this will help build up our FFA program. So as a board, I want to support this as much as we can.
Any more discussion on site location?
Yes. So we are pretty well set, I'd say, on putting this down in our southwest corner across from the ASO fields.
Okay.
There's quite a patch of grass there, and there's a field that's currently farmed that we own quite a bit of. So in the future, we'll look into that as well, but for now, I think we could even, we were talking about this last week, we could erect this building there without even disturbing that field even. So that's kind of where we've settled. It's a little bit of a walk from the high school, but it's back there, there's plenty of room to grow, and there's field right there that they can expand, so.
What is that? Has anybody looked into the water, power stuff out there?
Yeah, we sure
being
have.
in that remote location,
Yeah.
I would think that could add some significant cost.
There is going
I'm not
to,
opposed to it, I'm just asking.
nope, there is going to be some significant cost with that. Initially, we talked about putting it up by the middle school, and Gary White discussed with Alec from the village what it would cost to come off that water main. It's not going to be cheap, and this will really be, I don't know the ins and outs of it. We'll probably have to come off the transportation building for water, and then we'll have to figure out sewer. We'll have to figure out, whether we're going to do a tile drain field or try to, do a lift station out there and loop in. But that's where I say it's a little bit of a leap of faith. It makes me a little bit uneasy, but let's go. I mean, there's a great board there with the FFA program, and we'll figure it out. So, yeah.
So the building would be put up at this cost, is that correct?
That's the cost to purchase it.
We're gonna
So
put it up.
we're buying it, and then we're gonna have to put it together?
Yes, this is the package. They're going to set it in place.
The
Not the
FFA
royal we.
committee's doing it.
What's that?
Not the royal we.
Not the royal we, no. We collectively will find a way to put this thing in place. So, but before we do, I mean, we're going to have to, put a concrete pad out there and get all that figured out. So we've already got some quotes, and so this is, you got your questions were my questions, and I've been the kind of stick in the mud with this one, saying, well, what about this? What about this? Let's, move slow to move fast.
So this has to be done by July, you said?
Of next year.
Of next year.
The building has to be, the grant funds have to be spent by next July.
So are we putting the cart in front of the horse here? Agreeing to purchase the building without knowing everything else?
It's a fair question,
I'm
Mr. Dick.
Again, I'm in favor of this. I've just,
Yes. I don't know how to answer that question, which is rare for me. You got me on this one. There are unanswered questions. Okay, so we're gonna purchase this, and then we're going to have to figure out
Again,
how to get it all.
Yeah, I will say that,
this price good for from this? Seems
Well-
to me like just that we ought to pursue some of these unknowns before we
Yeah.
commit to a building that.
I think that it's more than fair, if the board doesn't feel comfortable, to table this. If you feel that way. I'm bringing you what we have received here.
every question you've asked, Chris has asked over and over again, so.
Again, I am
Yes, I have.
in
Yes.
favor of promoting
Yeah.
the FFA as much as we possibly can, but it seems irresponsible, at least from my perspective, to agree to buy this without having the rest of the information.
Yeah.
So I will say,
I agree.
the barn does come with a set of plans, so that's gonna save us thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Instead of going to an engineering firm or architect to get those plans. So in order to get those plans, we have to put the down payment down on the building first.
And those plans,
That's kind of where the holdup was in
Yep.
getting prices for the concrete, installing the building, stuff like that. We wanted as ways we had a set of plans to be able to.
and those plans are guaranteed to meet local code then as well?
Yes, they guaranteed,
Yeah.
they actually redid the building to make sure it met our local codes.
Okay.
They would contact PCI, make sure everything's good with that. Again, it is putting the cart in front of the horse here a little bit. We got the grant funds to use, we want to make sure to get those taken care of.
Yes, and that was why I wanted to know how long it was good for. If we have a year to use them yet,
So,
my concern would be that this is the smallest portion of this whole endeavor.
It's very, very
Yes,
true.
it is.
yeah, again, it is a concern for all of us, for sure. Our hope is that we have a lot of contractors and a lot of good people around that have stepped up and said, hey, how can we help?
I agree, I just,
So, again, we're kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that all.
again, my only concern is, since it's farming related, you can hope in one hand and whatever in the other, and,
Did I hear you right, Lane, that you have to put a down payment down to get the plans in order to even figure out what the sewer and everything else would be?
Yeah, it's 25%
yeah,
down.
it's about 12,000,
Yep.
12,500.
Get the plans and
So we're stuck right now, moving forward, period, until we get those plans.
Well, how long will it take us to get the rest of the information?
Well, from what and correct me if I'm wrong, Wayne, once we give them the down payment, they're gonna move into production on this building. I'm not sure we can stop them and say, hang on, we don't want it until next, July of 2025. They're not gonna hold that price.
once we give them the down payment, they said they will hold it for up till 12 weeks.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how this building became available in the first place to us, is somebody else put a down payment on it already.
Yep.
They never followed through with it. That's why you see the price difference there.
And how long will it take to get the rest of the info? Is that something we could have in a month?
Well, you mean as far as electrical, water,
As far as
foundation?
pricing.
Well, hold up, but I think I have a very important question. What do we need besides this building to basically make it a second cold storage building? Just
So-
concrete?
Hell, but the problem with it is it's not going to be a cold storage building, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'm saying some
Yeah.
sort of storage building. If this falls and crumbles, which I have full faith in this community that this is gonna be for its intended use.
Yep.
Like Jeff. But if it fell through, what kind of investment would the district need to put in order to make it a useful piece of the
Yeah,
district?
well, and that's a great
point,
question, and honestly, I mean, that would have to come to you as well, right?
Yeah,
So,
correct, yeah.
because it's gonna exceed that bid threshold. Preliminary estimates on a foundation that would accommodate this type of building, and because it's a metal building and not a pole-style building, it's gotta be a certain thickness and fiber. The concrete alone is gonna be $40,000-$50,000.
Okay.
for
So you're
this building.
saying potentially $40,000-$50,000 to put this thing up with a foundation, and it at least can be used to house something for the district?
I think the district is looking at an investment of probably around $100,000 because we have to pour the concrete, but then unless we get labor that's donated.
Yeah.
we have to build it. And so SE Agricultural and Commercial, they submitted also an alternate price for the actual building of their building, and it was $43,000.
Okay.
So between 40 to 50 in concrete and 43 to 50, and again, that would be from somebody that's going to build it, from, and we didn't purchase the building from them.
Yeah.
You're looking, you might as well round it up to 100K. That does not include water. That does not include electricity. Obviously, that's going to carry a cost too because we have to run it all the way out.
So worst case scenario, to just have a workable building, we're
Cold
talking about
storage.
100,000
Yes,
from us,
yes.
sorry, not us, the district, to make it
Correct.
a workable building.
And I would have to
I have
budget
full
that
faith
into
in
the
this
capital
community that
projects fund.
it will be fully functional like we intend.
Right.
But that's, to me, as the risk I see we're taking.
Sure. So I'm the bringer of information with this one, you guys. Okay, again, I want to be supportive of the program. I, was brought this by passion, by passionate people. You can't buy passion. And so I'm trying to be a steward of this new program and bring it to you sorry to put you in a precarious situation potentially with this. But it is a little bit of, we do not have all the I's dotted and T's crossed with this yet. And it's going to take some time, quite frankly, to figure out who's going to build it. And if we can get the concrete donated or at a discounted price. I mean, that's been a discussion as well. Water and sewer, those are things we're going to have to just work with the village on. So there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit with it.
So Lane, you're looking at electric, obviously, right? And then you're going to have some kind of sewer. Are you looking at heating or no?
At this point, no. In the future, it might be something possible, but.
That we could add on to it? Okay.
They talked about doing some mini splits, some little rooms and stuff like
Sure.
that. Not actually heating the whole entire building, maybe just some smaller rooms on it, so.
Okay. I'm sensing some hesitation or questions. Would it be reasonable in a month to get some rough estimate numbers for what sewer and water would look like, heating at a minimal?
I think absolutely. I think we can definitely put that together. The only thing is, I don't know if Elite Metal Buildings will hold this price. However, the RFP does say that you agree to hold the price for 60 days. I don't know if he'll do that, but, and we're obviously not going to litigate over that. But honestly, I think that is the most responsible step forward, if I'm speaking frankly from my own opinion. That's the most, like, we come in. The only difficulty with that is there is this idea, we have a very supportive, FFA advisory committee. So there's that, again, hope that we can get some donations or some labor for free. But I guess maybe this is the push. Okay, what can we do to know?
So I'm on that committee, and I can help get some of those answers. I have no question that this is gonna come together.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're asking for a farmer's perspective that puts seed in out of a bag and relies on Mother Nature to take care of the rest.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that it's all gonna work out.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I understand the apprehensions,
we're all
and I
there, yeah.
respect them.
Can you, when you're kind of roughly pulling out, can you also say we have potentially these funds to look at as sources? Because we're getting some big numbers really fast just with concrete.
Yes, we are.
So, we can pull so much from here, so much from here, so much from here, and not impact other budgets.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I sure will. It would have to be capital projects fund at this point,
Okay.
because that would be really all we could pull from.
Okay.
So, yep.
Just out of curiosity, for comparison's sake, how much did the pole barn cost that we just put up?
That cost just shy of $150,000. Yep. It's a completely different build.
Stick build.
Yep, that's a stick built, but, yep.
Well, it's pole barn, isn't it? Isn't?
Out here,
Yeah, the
storage
one-
building there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
stick
but it
built.
doesn't have that lean-to or the windows.
That's why, comparatively, that $50,000 is a heck of a price.
This is probably the cheapest we'd likely buy this.
Yes,
So,
by far.
Yep.
So if we did buy this and didn't assemble it for 6 months, do we have a place to store it?
It would sit, we'd have to tarp it, and it would sit out there right by where it would be built.
Yeah.
Yep, because we've talked about that too.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to it. I love the idea, and I think we need to look at the whole picture.
That's fair. We will,
And maybe the option is to purchase it, and if we're gonna go through with it, but, and I don't know.
it's tough. I mean, honestly, it's been tough.
It has been, and again, it's a giant kind of jump off and
Yeah.
jump it into it head first kind of thing. I think the nice part is we're using the grant funds. That's the best price we're gonna get on a building that size. That's the exact building that's Alyssa had drawn up and she met with Hastings, I think she met with Jackson, and then met with advisory board members and kind of created this building. They modeled it to meet her specs that she had drawn up. And then I think another nice part is we're saving on the engineering costs, right? We're
Right.
not having to use grant money, pay an engineer to draw it up for us, and that can get really expensive real fast.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lane. So board, I guess I'm not quite sure where we're at, but I'll entertain a motion, or if somebody wants to make a motion to table. I feel like we're kind of up in the air, I'm not sure, so.
Is there any way to check on how long we can hold that price?
Well, the RFP says,
I could call them, I guess, but-
doesn't the RFP say 60 days?
It does. It does say 60 days, and he did formally submit the RFP, so.
So I think it's imperative that we table this for a month and definitely look at it after we have a few more answers. So do I make that motion?
What exactly, what exactly are you looking for, prices on sewer and stuff like that?
To make it the building you want it to be, yes, so like sewer, you have to have water, you have to have electric, right?
Concrete.
Well, yeah, concrete.
So what do you think we'll be able to get those without having plans?
Well, the concrete,
I think you could get ROM numbers
We can get
based upon the
pretty
footprint, I would think.
Yeah.
All right, with that, you have sewer, if you need sewer, are there gonna be restrooms in there? Are there?
You've got to have
You
something.
gotta have it if the kids are gonna be out there,
Yeah,
right?
So,
Yeah.
so then,
Mhm.
yeah,
There's a lot.
There's a lot, there's a lot.
it's a whole lot more than just
Onion.
the building.
Okay, Erica, I've never tabled anything. Is that just a table and it's done, or do we vote? Okay, thanks. All right. Is the board okay with that?
Yeah, I hope, Lane, you heard, you were really supportive of this.
Yes.
Very supportive.
Fully understand
Okay.
where you're coming from and no issues.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to going out and getting this stuff so we can get a first answer. I don't blame you one bit.
And I don't know if it includes, looking at an alternate site that may shorten
Yeah.
the distances for utilities and stuff too. I don't know. I'm not,
Admin office?
that's up to you guys.
Oh, just kidding.
And I also appreciate that you went to all the trouble to get a grant too. That's
Yeah.
just
That's-
outstanding to me. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
and-
please pass along our thanks because
Yeah.
that's outstanding.
Absolutely.
Do you know, is there any additional grants for the construction of the building or the items we're talking about here?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I know that grant, I think, is every year.
Mhm.
I don't know how, I know that that's just specific for, purchases, that grant is, for building,
Yeah.
purchasing buildings.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't know if we could get it again for the same building.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But we have enough time within the grant language to.
We do. We have plenty of time.
It is June of 25.
Is it? Yeah. I knew it was, sometime next year, so.
Well, it's a great deal. I think we need to pursue this with urgency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we can see it next month.
All right, yeah, we'll
Yep.
table that till June. All right, thank you, board. And again, thank you, Chris and Lane. All right, that takes us down to superintendent's report.
I'll try and make it short and sweet. I would like to publicly thank the community for its ongoing support of the school district. By approving the renewal of the non-homestead operating millage last week, they've ensured the school district would maintain this source of revenue through 2034, and that's very important for the ongoing operations of the school district. And then also, I'm just looking forward to the celebrations as we near the end of the school year. We have Honors Night coming up next week, Tuesday, and then graduation on Thursday. And along with that, we've got all the field trips and field day activities at the elementary building. So it's a busy time of year, but exciting time of year.
Very fun. Okay, thank you. And yes, thank you to the Middleville community. A 2-to-1 vote is it's a statement. And I've been here around 20 years, and we've always had millages pass with a clear definition. So I appreciate the support of the schools. All right, that takes us to board comments. I brought up earlier the track teams. Great success. They're fun to watch. I followed on Facebook, the girls' varsity soccer team is doing really well. Really strong.
Anyone know if they won tonight? Did they win? Okay.
And then the baseball, softball, do you know how they're doing?
Baseball is having a winning record this year. We haven't seen that in many years. So they were, going into today's game, they were 14 and 6.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's 2-to-1. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about softball, sorry.
So on a beautiful day, go on and check them out. There's a track meet tomorrow if you want to come out. All right, other than that, looking forward to graduation. That's always a fun night. You checking the weather yet?
Not yet. Worry about that next week.
Right. Okay. Any other comments from the board? All right. Thank you all, and thank you everybody for staying. All right. Let's see. We have 8:59. Meeting adjourned.